Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for a bunch of core keeper tips. I'm here to, give you the tips. I'm gonna give you my tip. Tip number 1, I'm kind of repeating what I did last tip video, but here it is again, the music door cheat sheet, basically. I'll just leave it here. You can do as you will with that. Now, tip number 2 is a doozy, something you may not have even thought of, and it is going to be very, very helpful. So you see this teleporter, by the way? This, it's right next to the orange slime. I really don't need it, right? I would like to place it somewhere else. Well, boy, do I have something for you, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. You can pick it up. You can pick it up. There you go. And now you have an ancient waypoint, so you don't have to actually waste all those materials on building a portal. Now you could just go take these materials, start new worlds, and just go basically farm infinite portals, because obviously making them with the purple ore kind of stinks. I called it purple ore. Wow, that's crazy. All right, next tip. So you see how that robot arm is picking things up and putting it into the chest, right? I'm not gonna get super into automation because I really don't understand it that much, but I do know the basics. That thing can take ore and put it in a smelter, and then if you put a robot arm next to it, it'll take the finished ore, not the cooking ore, the finished ore, out of it and put it back on wherever you need it, in a chest, on a conveyor belt, going to another chest, etc., etc. Robot arms, very useful for automation, obviously, and also mob farms. Another tip, if you happen upon these bloats, very, very useful, right? You know why? Because this bloat oat, it bloats you up. So if I take this, another tip, this is a 2-tip idea, right? You put 2 foods. I know you already know about putting 1 food on top and 1 food on the bottom. No. If you put the 2 same food, it'll make something. And with the bloats, you'll never have to worry about food again. 54 food, baby. That's more than half of your food bar. Look at this. Look at this. Ready? And 9 health per second. Oh my god. Now, since I'm a mage, let's try the mana flower. I just screwed that up. Hold on. Oh, what's the mana flower make? Let's find out. Glowing tulip salad. 5 blue glow for 10 minutes, 6 food, and 1.4 mana. That's actually not very good. But yeah, you can mix the same food twice to get pretty much an enhanced effect of what it already does. And cook often. That's I guess part of that tip too, is if you're not cooking, definitely use the cooking mechanic because it's very good. You get insane buffs from it. I would recommend farming a ton of these heart bulbs because this is how you're going to make potions, and then later on greater potions, which is where we're going to get to our next tip. Now, this is not a very optimized farm. I'm telling you right now, this is just something I threw together last minute. This is purple slime. Now, I took this from the jungle using a hoe. You can hoe the ground and it'll pick up tiles like slime, like the fungal growth, like those other weird, the stuff on the ground that you can still mine with your fist and pick up, and it fills up your inventory. That's actually useful stuff. See this fungal growth right here? The slime, this moss, different kinds of moss block. These will spawn enemies if you are within a boundary of 200 blocks. Now, I think it's 200 blocks. It's roughly, see, if I'm in the middle here, it's roughly your entire slime trail, or however you pronounce it, the giant larva boss that you fight pretty much second in the boss kind of chain of events, right? If they're within this tile, like within these tiles, they will spawn, and then you can have conveyor belts, bring them to spike traps. I would upgrade the turrets because, for example, enemies with like the stone moss, some of them will break stuff, but that is really good to know, obviously, because if you want to farm something, you find out which biome it's from, make a ton of those tiles, a ton of those moss tiles, purple slime, etc., and just have some way of damaging them. You can put conveyor belts on the purple slime. I didn't know this when I made this at the time, but that'll obviously make it easier. Like, for example, now, okay, I'm gonna take conveyor belts and put them all facing up, so they go right here, and then they lead up all the way over there, and then my spike trap will take care of them. So then I have infinite purple slime. The purple slime is used along with these heart bulbs to make greater health potions. If you find the hand drill, the tip number, I don't know, I don't care. Definitely upgrade this in the upgrade station. Even though obviously I found this at like level 4, it is so much better than the pickaxe. It has less durability. See, I don't actually have the pickaxe on me, but it dies out pretty quickly, but that's mainly because you're using it so much. It has 5 attacks per second. You will, if it's the same mining level or more than the biome you're in, you will shred through things. This is incredibly efficient at digging tunnels. So if you find this, I found this in a random chest, you're just gonna have to, you know, find it. Again, this game is like Terraria a lot. You just kind of have to come across a chest that happens to have the item you have a lot of the time. It might drop from some enemies, I'm not sure. You might need to fact check me on that. By the way, the game has a wiki, and it's, you know, pretty easy to read. So, you know, if you need boss drops or enemy drops, stuff like that, maybe an item description, you could just Google Corekeeper Wiki. It's right there. I promise you, it's very, very easy. I already covered this in my last tip video, but I want to reiterate because it is very important to people. It'll save a lot of headaches. So first off, I would put a big chest. You could pick up the boss chest, by the way, which is the only way to get a big chest as far as I know. Put this, surround it with crafting tables that you need, like, for example, the crafting bench, you know, the upgrade station, the reinforced station. Surround it. Even on the diagonal squares, you can do that. Put all your useful materials, like ingots and everything, in that chest, and it will take from that chest so it doesn't clog your inventory. Now, on top of that, since we're talking about chests, this button right here, this little arrow, this auto sorts both your inventory and the chest. For, you know, there's a button for each of them. Quick stack will put things in the chest that's already in there from your inventory. So if I have tin, for example, let's take some tin, put it right there, press this button, it goes in there, easy peasy. So the dresser and the magic mirror, these can be made using the carpenter workbench right over here. You make that via the copper workbench, I guess. It's right here. So for the dresser and magic mirror, the magic mirror, what the hell? This is just how you change, you know, your avatar, your name, etc., etc. You basically just character creator again. Minus the, you know, the starting class, which, by the way, really isn't that important. If you're not sure, just pick like explorer, miner, fighter. It's real. Again, the +3, the stats is nice. Fishing's also great. I would fish a lot. The fish in this game, when combined with food, create some incredible buffs. But again, don't dwell on the starting class too much. It's really not that important. And the dresser, now this, you can toggle your vanity slot. I don't want my hat to show. There you go. Now my beautiful face is showing. Now that's not all it does, because you can also put equipment in there. So now my head be doing that instead of looking like that. But I still have the, what is that? The sorcerer helmet, sorcerer robe or whatever. Yeah. It's to change your armor without changing the armor, right? Corekeeper fashion, ladies and gentlemen. Tip number, whatever, I can't anymore. I'm just going to recommend a YouTube channel. Now this channel is actually smaller than me currently. They'll probably grow way faster than me. Their videos are way better. He's made 2 videos, one on automation and the other one going over mob farm specifically. Way more in depth on what I could do. I'll make one in the future when I've really played around with it, but right now I'm just kind of trying to speed run through this normal run and then get to hardcore, and that'll be like the world I really just 100% everything in this game on, right? But yeah, if you want to get into automation and mob farming, which are important, especially for the late game, I would definitely check that channel out. You know, maybe subscribe to them. And then also, let them know that your boy Dakosity sent you. Because, you know, I want him to know. He helped me a whole hell of a lot understanding some of these mechanics, so, you know, might as well return the favor, right? Even if I send a few people over there. I mean, he's, again, doing way better than me at this point. Yeah, on we go. So bosses will drop these items. For example, one of the bosses dropped this fish table. You just make a room. It has to be more than 2 by 2. Just make it roughly this size. It could probably be a little bit smaller. It has to have a door closed with walls all around, with flooring and a bed. Make it lit. Put that item in. A merchant should spawn. Their stocks they restock every like 30 minutes or something, or maybe 5. I'm not sure, to be honest. I again use the wiki for this. I'm not sure. I don't really count every time. I don't run their stock out enough to really care. But yeah, they'll sell you stuff. For example, that guy sells a bunch of fishing stuff. like I said before, fishing, very important. Very awesome. I should do it way more than I actually do. Same thing with gardening. You know, this guy was the first boss. Sometimes they'll have an inventory that's not completely full. You just have to progress in the game, maybe defeat some bosses in order to actually completely fill it up. I would recommend, if you're starting out, definitely invest in getting these cows using this workbench. Obviously, you can use the leash and this. And yeah, the cattle transport box to actually bring these into an enclosed area where you then feed them using the feeding trough, or just, I guess, growing food in there. The feeding trough's more efficient, especially if you make like a conveyor belt that automatically takes food out of a chest and then puts it into a feeding trough. But yeah, fenced in area. Only reason why I have these fungal growths in there, so they grow mushrooms so they can just eat the mushrooms. Obviously, as you can see, enemies are spawning in there. They can't see you over the fence. If it's stone moss, they can, but stone moss doesn't grow mushrooms, so you shouldn't be putting it in there anyway. So this is fine. Obviously, if you go in there, that thing might run at you and break a wall, but right now I really don't need any of the materials in here. I'm going to expand the farm soon anyway. But yeah, cows, very important early game. The milk is a fantastic buff. It lasts 1 minute. It gives you a 23% armor increase. The ram and the larva bug also, it's just materials that they drop, but it's materials that you'll need for like the mid game, or at least to even get into the mid game. If you sit in a bed, obviously monsters are nearby right now, which has a decent radius, to be honest. I wouldn't assume, sorry, this would be close enough, right? But it is. Same thing over here. Oh no, actually I can sleep over here. This, if you don't want to burn through a health potion, but don't want to also eat food that gives you healing for some reason, I would sit in a bed. It heals you. You know, pretty self-explanatory. It also sets your spawn point there. Definitely hatch pets as much as you find these eggs. They are very, very, very valuable. They will give you some insane buffs. Now, this King Slime pet, all of its buffs are on its own, but it's in a thing I don't need to summon. I don't need to invest any resources in, and it's doing like 700-800 damage to bosses with a chance to crit every couple seconds, and I don't need to do anything about it. It is incredibly good. I just find a good pet out of an egg and just dump the rare candies you find across the world into it. It's so powerful. It's such a fantastic sorcery to have. Don't be afraid to experiment with your offhand. Now, your offhand is this right here, obviously. I have something that does not have an active at all, but there's plenty of items that you'll find throughout the world that has, you know, blinks, shielding, special attacks. So just, you know, if you find them, try it out, see if you like it, see if it fits your build, your fighting style, and go from there. You don't need anything for the generators, by the way. If you're just starting out with powered stuff, the generator is just an electricity source. It has a range like that it caps out at, but it's incredibly far. You're not like, unless you're building some insane machines using the video that I'm recommending, yeah, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Again, that person who I recommended would go way more in depth with the automation than I ever could at this very moment. I hope to one day make a very similar video because I love this game. But yeah, tip number, I don't know. I haven't really been numbering these. Look through the mod list. You know, first off, I would play through the game once on normal. And after that, after you enjoyed this amazing experience that you want to re-enter right away, obviously, check out the mods. I'm pretty sure it's on Thunderstore. There might be Steam mods too, but definitely look into the modding community, because what makes a game like Terraria so fantastic is that it has some of the best mods out there. Now, obviously, this game, Corekeeper, is just brand new. So there's not many mods. Most of them are probably quality of life. I haven't actually looked at the full list yet, but most of them are like quality of life. And, you know, for example, I guess like auto sorting chests and stuff like that, because there isn't actually a way to auto sort. And, well, I mean, there is if you press the button, but I mean, like, for the automation stuff, you have to do some really convoluted stuff with drills and filling up chests with the drill arms, not drill arms, just the arms, to actually do that. But yeah, as this game continues its lifespan, people will develop some insane mods, and you know, you want to be the first person to see them, right? That's a weird tip, I know. Definitely pick up a lot of dirt blocks that are from different biomes, because if you find plants like this papaya or this stone rock or care rock, you'll soon realize you can't actually place it in normal dirt. Karoks need stone, which is funny, which you can hoe for some reason. And the papaya, obviously, a beach biome dirt. So just make sure you collect enough of those. You're not trashing all of your biome dirt because you will need it for specific plants that you would probably like to use because these papayas are pretty useful. See, for example, I can show you some of the cookbooks with it. I haven't used it for much because it's not really a mage thing. But yeah, look at this. 6 health per second for 20 seconds, 25 food, 24% physical melee damage for 10 minutes, 24% physical range damage for 10 minutes. And this is using both the pine grapple and the papaya. Oh my, pewpia, sorry. But yeah, they can generate some insane buffs. And this is from the Sunken Sea, by the way. This is like kind of mid-game, I guess, but it's still, the concept's there. If you're looking for a good weapon in the super early game, the slime sword, oh my god, the slime sword is fantastic. It's incredibly easy to make, just 10 copper, 15 slime, and it's a level 6 weapon. Attacks very fast, slows your target's movement so you can kind of kite it even if you are melee. It's just overall amazing, and it really doesn't take that much effort. I haven't used a Grubzooka or the large larva spike club, but I'm certain it's the same thing. Here also, I mean, it's a bazooka larvae gun, and the attacks pierce through enemies. So that's very useful for when you're dealing with mobs, stuff like that. If you find a boss, definitely look for its teleporter. All the bosses, as far as I can tell, have some kind of teleport pad. Now, like I showed you before, the one over here I didn't really need to be there. Like, I'm never going there anymore, and even if I did, it's so close to my base, it doesn't matter. So I can take it, put the teleporter somewhere else. You know, if you're near a boss, definitely try to find the teleport pad before fighting it, because it's gonna... if it kills you, you're gonna have to run back, baby. You're gonna have to run all the way back. Not good. Definitely frequently look at these stats to see if you've actually leveled up something, because some of these are incredibly powerful. Look at this, just mining speed, a chance to get more ore. That stuff stacks when you're doing a lot of mining, man. Also, if you're in the Sunken Sea, I would just mine one of the vending machines just so you could have it here in your base. It's pretty funny. You could buy a heartberry soda. Easiest healing of my life. All right, and that's the tip video. I know I just kind of rapid fired a bunch of nonsense at you. Hopefully I helped you with something. Hopefully I taught you something new. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys. Check out my gameplay videos where I stream every Sunday. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so roughly like 4 or 6 o'clock I usually start streaming. Maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit earlier. It really depends. It's my day off, so I don't care. Like, you know, I just kind of hop on when I can, but I definitely try to stream for at least 3-4 hours, usually more. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna go play NBA 2K25 with my friends and get pissed off. Let's go.